Round one. Ready, go! Knockout! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout! Round four. Ready, go! Ring out! Round five. Ready, go! Ring out!
I want a serious fight!
Round one. Ready, go! Knockout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout.
Forgot to train, eh?
Round 1. Ready, go! Ring out. Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 4. Ready, go! Ring out. Round one. Ready, go! Knockout! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Ring out!
Yes! What a knucklehead!
Round one. Ready, go!
Ha! 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 Yeah! Ha! Ha! Yeah!
Ring out! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Excellent! Round four. Ready, go! Knockout!
See? I thought I'm better.
Thinking about the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro, and even the Xbox Series S, they're
Round one. Ready, go! Ring out! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout! Round one. Ready, go! Knockout! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout! Round four. Ready, go! Knockout! Round five. Ready, go! Knockout!
Ora, ora, ora!
Generational game that ran on the PlayStation 4 that ran Charisma 7.
Round one. Ready, go! Round 2. Ready, go! Excellent! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Excellent!
오라 오라 오라!
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout!
이かがかな? Round 1. Ready, go!
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go! Ring out. Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout.
Forgot to train, eh?
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go! Ring out. Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout.
Forgot to train, eh? Round 1. Ready,
go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout!
Ran on the PlayStation 4. Of course, you had other games like God of War Ragnarok, PlayStation 4 edition. These games were really pushing the limits of what the PS4 could do. And of course, the PlayStation 4 versions of these games also benefited from these versions being available because the PlayStation 4 Pro was a bit more powerful. But one thing I want to kind of sort of focus in on here is this: both of these analogies are before DLSS. So this is just in terms of what it could do with no sort of DLSS. And if you know anything about DLSS, you would know that DLSS allows for sharper images and increased frame rates in these games. So if by a baseline we're doing a game, let's just say, you know, a God of War Ragnarok style game. I'm sure I have a trailer that I could put up over this, so that'll help keep things easy. If you're able to get similar visual style in terms of raw power before any artificial upscaling, like, I think that's pretty impressive. Once again, we can go back to a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally to kind of compare what sort of performance those systems do. Now, many people anticipate that there will be updated versions of these systems that are more powerful and can do more things. ROG, of course, already released one that was an incremental upgrade, but still impressive nonetheless. But even if you strip away that sort of stuff, this...
Round one. Ready, go!
Yeah. Yeah.
Knockout. Round two. Ready, go! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout. Round four. Ready, go! Knockout. Round five. Ready, go! Knockout.
この強さが怖い。
Steam Deck and the ROG Ally are absolutely fantastic with running some higher-end PC games. If companies are able to leverage that sort of power on those systems without having any sort of DLSS really running on those games, I think the sky could potentially be the limit with the Nintendo Switch successor if the companies are willing to utilize the additional tools that are available to them. Look, I know everyone hates artificial intelligence, but you can't stop it. College Football 25 by EA, they did the stadiums with artificial intelligence because they didn't want to make 100 different stadiums with 100 different types of fans in them and all the logos and stuff like that. They came out and said that themselves. So companies are going to be able to embrace different sorts of tools in order to make their games look and run better on the Nintendo platform. But really, what's the more exciting thing for me is, what is Nintendo going to do with this additional power? Nintendo is usually the king of making the most out of what they have, and you've seen that time and time again. You can go back to the GameCube era and take a look at some of those games that still hold up extremely well when you upscale them or play them via progressive scan mode. Games like F-Zero, Star Fox Adventures, hell, even Super Mario Sunshine, even though it's a terrible game, it still looks absolutely gorgeous. And there's a reason for it, because Nintendo, like I said, is able to get the most out of their hardware. So when it comes to just raw technical specifications, is it necessarily fair to look at the specs themselves and then deduce what can and can't come to the system? I don't really think so. Because with a game like Doom 2016, which released in 2017, a game like Doom Eternal, that should not have ran on a tablet from 2014 technology. But the companies managed to do it. Panic Button managed to make it happen. Scrolling on down here, you can see that the RAM is slower than the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S in the speed department, but has more capacity than a Series S, which is, once again, pretty impressive. Should have about 10.5 to 11 gigs of RAM available to games going by the Switch 1's RAM allotment for its OS. We're at the point of diminishing returns in terms of a lot of graphics. That's why a lot of these games that you see nowadays, you gotta look for the details. Look at the PS5 Pro situation. You're having to look for things like ray tracing and additional sharpness on things in the background. It's cool, but I also feel like it's a niche marketplace. Most people just want to play games that look good, feel good, and are fun. And if Nintendo's able to manage that, which with this sort of power, they should be more than able to do that, I think that's going to trump any sort of, crazy ray tracing stuff at the end of the day. You gotta remember, the most graphically intensive thing that we have seen thus far this generation was the Matrix demo. And the Matrix demo was allegedly running on Nintendo Switch 2 hardware behind closed doors at Game Developer Conference last year. If they're able to get those sorts of visual fidelity on this system, that's gonna be an absolute game changer. There is nothing that has came out that has looked as good as that did. And that was just a small technical demo. I get it. It was very curated. It was something that was supposed to lean into the graphics. So it's going to be something like that. But still, if something like that is able to run on the system's hardware, then what can't run on the system's hardware? The one thing I want to kind of close with is not necessarily talking about what's available on the marketplace now, but the future. Because that's something that a lot of people are 8-bit concerned with. We already know that Xbox is talking about new hardware. There's rumors that they're going to launch the Xbox Series successor in 2026. PlayStation, of course, is releasing the PS5 Pro. There's already rumors about the PlayStation 6 having 2 systems on the chips and all this sort of crazy stuff, potentially 2027, 2028. Assuming that the Nintendo Switch successor comes out in 2025, is a year or two on the market going to be long enough for it to put a foothold into things and, sort of still be able to do what vision systems are indeed doing? Like I said, it really boils down to diminishing returns with this stuff. Will the games still run on the Switch hardware, the Switch successor hardware? Yeah. Will they have the bells and whistles of the other games running on something like the PlayStation 6 or the Xbox Series? What the hell do you call it? Series or something like that? No, you're not going to have the ray tracing and stuff like that. It's still going to be a full game experience. I think many people are just afraid it's going to be a sizable gap like what we saw with Nintendo Switch versus PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series version. Where it was noticeable right from the jump. It wasn't the devil in the details type of situation. I don't think that is necessarily going to be the case because the technology that is allegedly going to be the Nintendo successor is far more versatile than what we saw with the Nintendo Switch. You have to remember something about this system. The Wii U was a failure. The Nintendo Switch system was a risk. This was not something that was a surefire success. Hindsight is, of course, 2020. But back in 2016, 2017, there was no way to really determine whether or not this was going to be an absolute dominating success that we saw being in terms of things like hardware and software sales. There was that feeling that Nintendo might not know what the hell they're doing, and they might not be sort of plays out like the Wii U did. Now, of course, it didn't play out that way, and now everyone sings the praises of the system. It's like, oh, I always knew this was the greatest. That's total BS. Even some of your favorite Nintendo YouTubers have privated their videos bashing the system. Personally, I won't do that because I don't care. I was proven wrong with it. And I think that that's what this system is really going to be about. If you just look at it from a raw perspective, yeah, it's cheaper than what is on the marketplace, and it's going to be about what comes out in the future. But really, when it comes to power, it's not about how much you have, it's what you do with it. If that was the case, the 3DO would have been the most successful system ever, right? Because the 3DO was far more powerful than the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo was. Was the 3DO a success, or was it a complete failure? I think the answer is crystal clear. I can't even talk right now. But those are just my thoughts on this sort of thing. You know, like I said, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. If you
Round one.
spec sheet,
Ready, go!
I don't understand being excited for a game before you gotta
Knockout!
ends up being really good. Maybe it exceeds. So
Round two. Ready, go!
It's just so short and excited. It's ridiculous, but hey, that's what the internet culture has created. Is this enough? Do you think this is enough to get head-hitter third party? You know, we already know that they said that longer
Knockout!
generation with the increase in technology for when they're
Round three.
supplement that.
Ready, go!
That's why your boy talks about a lot of Nintendo stuff. At the end of the day, bro, I play everything. Your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out. I'm genuinely interested to hear your guys' feedback.
Knockout!
Is this enough for you? Do you think this is enough to compete? And what sort of success will the system see? And as always, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you be sure to like, comment, share, hit the bell as well. The book links in the description box down below, pal. Leave a 5-star Amazon review if you do pick it up over on Amazon. But I make more money if you pick it up on Castlemania, so pick it up there. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.
Introducing the new Google Pixel 9 Pro XL on O2. Claim up to £600 of rewards from under £45 a month. O2, see what you can do.
Just a few weeks ago, we saw Concord shut down, which by all accounts from us looking outside in, it did appear to be Sony's biggest failure. I mean, it was a live service game that had plans to go for quite a while, with cutscenes being made and plans already in place for the roadmap, and then it was gone 2 weeks later. Completely shut down, and Sony issued refunds. Most of us said, okay, well, that's probably the biggest failure we've seen from Sony. Well, now we're starting to get more details, and yesterday we had information around the budget for the game and some issues internally when it came to the development or the environment for development. I gotta tell you, some of this is downright unbelievable, but we'll go over that here today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Now, this information is coming way of Colin Moriarty. He did post a snippet of the Sacred Symbols podcast over on Twitter, and after viewing it, it makes sense why he did so, since there are some very interesting pieces of information here around the backstory for Concord, because most of us...
Round one. Ready, go! Knockout! Round two. Ready, go! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout!
Go, okay, how does this even get out the door in its current state, right? Well, this is from someone who did work on Concord, who reached out, and Colin was able to verify who they were, and he seems very confident in the sourcing here, so keep that in mind when I start throwing some of these numbers around, because the biggest one here, while they did enter Alpha State first quarter of 2023, apparently they had already spent $200 million on Concord up to this point. Now, we did see there were developers who posted from Firewalk on Twitter, and they had mentioned that the game was in development for about 8 years, but early on it wasn't a ton of people, like a massive team, but of course they did ramp up over time to where now Firewalk is responsible for over 150 people, and apparently it's not a cheap studio for Sony to keep going, which we'll touch on here soon, but the cumulative total here for the budget of Concord, and again, this is the unbelievable part, according to Colin in a source, $400 million to make this thing, and he threw this in at the end. That does not include the price to buy Firewalk. See, I heard $400 million. I thought, you know what? Maybe that's the price of the development, the budget, over 8 years and getting much more expensive, exponentially so towards the end of development. Okay, that and then the price of Firewalk baked into that for an expense for Sony of $400 million. Maybe. Even then, that seemed like it was stretching it. But no, $400 million allegedly for the entire cost to develop Concord. And I'm trying to piece this together in my mind for how that's even possible, because it is an unbelievable figure. I mean, Horizon Forbidden West was just over $200 million. It's like $212 million. Last of Us Part 2, $220 million. And the most expensive one that we've heard so far, and a lot of this came out of like Insomniac leak, or when documents were submitted to the court for Microsoft and FTC. Some of it was not redacted correctly, and we were able to see some of these figures. But Spider-Man 2 was north of $300 million, and they actually went over the budget to $315 million. So you hear those numbers, you see the quality of those games, and then you look at Concord and you're like, how did this happen? I mean, when we're talking about the budget, and you look at Concord with the amount of people who worked on it, this is over on Moby Games, they're claiming 1,982 people with 1,972 professional roles being cited here, whereas something like Marvel Spider-Man 2, 3,812 people or 3,578 professional roles. So that does bring into question some of the budget, some of the money stuff that's being discussed here, because the amount of people working on either one does not really match up to that, which I guess maybe you can look at it as, well, there are plans maybe years out even for this thing, with cutscenes that are super high quality, and we have to prepare for this game to constantly provide content over and over and over again for years to come, and maybe that was part of the budget that's being discussed here. Again, it's hard to say, because $400 million for something like this is very difficult to fathom. Now, in order for the game to actually release and get to an acceptable state, they had to do a bunch of outsourcing. That's not new necessarily. All these studios do use outsourcing to some degree, but it was sort of emphasized as in this was more than usual for Concord to get out the door, as it was in a very rough state entering alpha, and apparently onboarding, which basically how do we get new players in, or how do we introduce you to some of these characters, and monetization had not been worked on at all up to point of alpha, which monetization is, I mean, you kind of develop the entire game around the idea of how do we extract money from the players along the way, and this eventually got to the point where it was a $40 price tag, so maybe that wasn't as necessary as if it was a free-to-play game, and also maybe why Sony did look at it as a $40 release, not like, oh, we're definitely making this free-to-play, because they really didn't design a good chunk of the game with monetization, at least in their minds at that point. So that's interesting. And then onboarding, if you jumped into Concord even during the beta and stuff, it wasn't really welcoming to pretty much anyone. It was like, all right, go ahead, just hop in and play with some of these characters. There's no training mode at the time, which I believe they added in for the full release. But they kind of left a lot of that out, and it did feel like it was sort of a second thought to them. And the thing, while this would be the biggest game Sony has ever released in terms of budgets, I think the big driving force here is what is very concerning, as it was Herman Hulst, apparently, who was a big champion for this game. Like, hey, this is the game. We're really excited about it. Words like Concord is the future of PlayStation being thrown around. It's a Star Wars-like project for Sony, which I will say, when I heard that, I said, you know what? Now it makes sense for things like that Secret Levels episode for that to exist. And apparently they're going forward with it, which they've already inked the deal. I'm sure the contract's done, the episode's made, so whatever. Just go ahead and do it at this point. But when you start hearing about things that would do crossovers with video game and expand the IP outside of just gaming into more of a mainstream media climate, it does sort of make sense when you hear that, especially since there are so many characters that they were working to build up with these cutscenes every single week, give a bunch of backstory, and try to build their own little universe for Concord, which once these characters were heavily rejected by gamers all over the place, what do you do then when you have this plan in place to keep pushing them forward? And something that was thrown around here is internally, there was, as they say, quote, toxic positivity vibe, which basically means it's a lot of yes men around who did not really push back or point out any kind of issues here and really portray some sort of criticism that could be viewed as, you say, constructive, but nothing to push back and say, you know what, maybe this part isn't going to work, or maybe this isn't a great direction for the game. And that could be just from maybe the people there agreeing with everything, or some concerns for themselves, some mild bits of fear, is like, can I speak out on this, or will I get in trouble, or does it make sense to? Because if you're just being told it's going to work over and over and over again, which is weird because you figure there would have been focus group testing who would have told you otherwise. Like, this is the weird part, because most of us, when we saw that it was a hero shooter, were like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you go that route? I don't really want to play this. But apparently Herman Hulst was all about this game, and it seems like a...
Round one. Ready, go! Knockout! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout! Round four. Ready, go! Knockout! Round five. Ready, go! Knockout!
on his part if that was indeed the case. He's there pushing this game forward. This is gonna be this is gonna work. We have to buy Firewalk because obviously this is a game that's going to continue going forward year over year over year. And then it's gone after 2 weeks. And as I mentioned, Kotaku did sort of come in here and corroborate some of the story with the toxic positivity discussion, but they did say that they feel like massive layoffs will be the most likely result of Concord's failure, including the possible shutdown of the entire studio, which sources tell Kotaku is indeed one of the most expensive studios in the PlayStation portfolio on a per-head basis. And the obvious thing here now, the elephant in the room, is every other live service game that's coming up, or every live service decision that was made before Concord, is completely in question. Helldivers 2, that's done fine. It's proven itself, but you look at something like The Last of Us and how that was canceled. Would that have done better than Concord? I mean, yeah, look, it's very difficult to do worse than Concord at this point. If that budget is correct, the fact they're around for 2 weeks, everything, it's like that is one of the craziest game releases and then subsequent cancellations I've ever seen. But you look at something like Fair Games, people are already writing it off, and I mean, after Concord, it's hard to be like, well, yeah, this has a chance, this is gonna work. It's kind of improve it mode now for Herman Holst and this live service push that did kind of get started a while ago under Jim Ryan. So again, it makes you also
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 5. Ready, go! Knockout! I win!
to question his exit from the company. It's hard to push back on any of that at this point. But one thing's for certain, Sony, they need help with these live service games if they are going to continue pursuing them, because it doesn't seem like Herman Holst is the guy to continue shepherding these things to market. It feels like he understands the single-player stuff, as we've seen with Guerrilla and what they've been able to accomplish over time, but not necessarily the live service. We thought Concord was it, and that was going to be the future of PlayStation. Ooh, that came out and felt like a game that was from the past of PlayStation, back in the day when Overwatch...
Round one. Ready, go! Knockout! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout!
Came out and stuff. He might be behind the times, and look, it happens. I kind of feel that way myself at times. That's one of the reasons I have like Josie on the podcast, because she's younger and sees things much differently than a lot of us old people. So it is that sense of have differing voices around you to try to make the best decisions going forward, which once again goes back to the toxic positivity vibes. If that just... It sounds like it was a disaster all the way around, and the result kind of speaks for itself. But let me know what you guys think about this down below, with the idea of $400 million being thrown around for Concord. It's unbelievable when I hear that number, but he seems pretty confident with his sources, and I'm curious if any other outlets reach out to the people at Firewalk or anyone they can at PlayStation to corroborate this number a bit more, because if that is correct, the whole thing is way worse than even I imagined it could be. But let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
What do we got here?
What I've got is a 1861 Confederate coin that was from the shipwreck SS Republic.
Oh, I do love coin.
That's the magic prop? I know what that is. That's a zigzag box. Pretty much like the sawing in half trick, but a little different of a variation on it.
Hi guys, welcome.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So this is yours?
Yes, it is.
So have you ever chopped anybody into three pieces?
I have.
I have never, ever, ever had someone offer to sell me one of these.
Really? I reached out to the pawn shop today to see if I could sell my classic zigzag stage illusion. I bought the illusion at an estate sale here in Las Vegas. I've always been fascinated by that trick and always wanted one, so I had to have it. The illusion's in really great shape. It's hardly ever been used. I've only used it in practice, and it's been in my house for about 10 years now, and I've never really performed it on stage. I've practiced with it a few times, but it's pretty much just collecting dust, and I think it's time for someone else to enjoy it. I'm hoping to get $6,000 for my zigzag illusion today.
This is pretty cool. How does this thing work?
Basically, a girl gets in the box, head goes here, left hand goes over here, right hand here, and left foot there. The blades get inserted, and then this whole entire side of the box comes over. And the neat thing about it is that all her body parts, her feet and her hands and her face are all visible the whole time, unlike most sawing a woman in half illusions.
It's a really cool illusion. I know you've had to have seen this.
All right, and it opens up?
Yeah, you gotta take the blades out first.
Oh, you gotta take, all right.
Blades go here, these latches open up, and you just grab it by the head.
Can I try to get in it?
Sure, go ahead.
I don't think you're gonna fit. All right, put your face in it.
There you go.
Oh my God, this hurts.
Here we go.
No. Can you let me out, please?
Sure, yeah, I'll let you out, yeah.
Whoa.
When you come out, aren't you supposed to walk out and go like something like that?
Yeah, I was rushing out of there. That thing is a tight squeeze.
It is tight.
And the center part slides over?
The whole thing comes over here, and it actually locks into position over here. This comes that far. This locks in here. Hands and feet, all visible.
So I guess that's why they call it the zigzag box.
Yep.
All right. How much do you want for this?
I'd like to get $6,000 for it.
Okay. Well, if you're a magician here in town, you probably know Murray.
Yeah, I know Murray.
Let me give him a call and see what he thinks.
Okay.
And I'd really like to see how it works.
You want me to give him a call for you?
Yeah, give him a call.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes I wish I could make Chum disappear.
Hey, Murray.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Oh my God! I brought my assistant with me, Lindy. She's going to help demonstrate this because I already heard that you had the one of the most famous illusions in the world, the zigzag box. The greatest thing that I loved about this illusion, and to this day still, is you can do this illusion surrounded. So you can have people behind the trick, in front of it, above it. So can I use this? Can I actually do this?
Sure, go for it.
Lindy, do you mind? All right. So Lindy, I'm gonna have you step inside the box. I take your shoes off first. Get her in the box like so. Wonderful. Feel pretty
Fits
good?
so much better than I did.
All right, so you ready? Yeah. All right. When we close this, I'm gonna have put your head through the hole, and then you're gonna put your right hand through that hole right there, and then your left leg through the hole in the bottom right over here. All right. Cool. Comfortable? Yeah. Okay. Are you ready? Yeah. Here we go. You all right? Yeah. Feel good? So far, so good?
You have a blade going through your stomach. What do you mean so far so good?
Here we go. You ready? Do this. You all right?
That doesn't hurt?
He's still smiling, so that's good. All right. Go over here. You ready? This. Here we go.
Ow.
Thanks for the sound effects. I appreciate that. That's it. There we go. Excellent. How's your hand doing? Good?
This is crazy.
You still breathing? Yeah. And there it is, guys. What do you think?
I was just in that box.
Not bad, huh? You guys want to go for lunch? Pretty cool, right?
So how does it work?
Rick, it's magic.
Well, should we put her back together?
Yeah, let her out.
Yeah. The importance of building cool illusions or props that you use in magic, you know, you're deceiving the eye, right? It's an illusion. That's why you call it an illusion. Check it out. How great is that? All in one piece. Yes. So it's important the props built proper to not hurt the person inside, even though, ironically, it looks like you're cutting somebody in half and hurting them, but you're not.
So what kind of value could you put on this?
So if this was actually Robert Harbin's original zigzag, which is still around, it's actually at the Magic Circle in London, a really famous magic club there. This would be worth $15,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
So that was the original one that started this whole thing.
Sure.
Obviously it isn't. It's about 10, 15 years old. I would say this would be worth $4,500.
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Well, if you guys do get it, you know, I'll give you a guest spot in my show. Good luck.
I didn't
Take
have
care,
to
you
get
guys.
cut in half.
Thanks,
All right,
Lou.
Lou.
See you, Mark.
See you, Jeff.
just in that box?
Not bad, huh? You guys want to go for lunch? Pretty cool, right?
So how does it work?
Rick, it's magic.
Well, should we put her back together?
Yeah, let her out.
Yeah. The importance of building cool illusions or props that you use in magic, you know, you're deceiving the eye, right? It's an illusion. That's what you call an illusion. Check it out. How great is that? All in one piece. Yes. So it's important the props built proper to not hurt the person inside, even though, ironically, it looks like you're cutting somebody in half and hurting them, but you're not.
So what kind of value could you put on this?
So if this was Act 1 right over here, all right? Cool. Comfortable? Yeah. Okay. You ready? Here we go. You all right? Yeah. Feel good? All right. So far, so good?
You have a blade going through your stomach. What do you mean?
Cutting in half and hurting them, but you're not.
So what kind of value could you put on this?
So if this was actually Robert Hardman's original zigzag, which is still around, it's actually at the Magic Circle in London, a really famous magic club there. This would be worth $15,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
So that was the original one that started this whole thing.
Sure.
Obviously it isn't. It's about 10, 15 years old. I would say this would be worth $4,500.
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Well, if you guys do get it, you know, I'll give you a guest spot on my show. Good luck.
I didn't
Take
have
care,
to
you
get
guys.
cut in half.
Thanks,
All
Luke.
right, see you. Good luck.
You too.
It's really, really interesting. But let's face it, there's not a huge market for these things.
True.
I'll give you like $2,000 for it.
How about $2,750?
How about $2,200 bucks?
How about 25?
How about $2,200 bucks? Because it's gonna sit for a long, long time.
Well, I've had it a long time, and I don't really have any use for it, so I'll take the 2,200.
All right, sweet. All right, so get it down to the shop. I'll get you paid.
Sounds good.
I see a roadshow in our future. You could be my assistant. I'll be the magician.
No, I think I should be the magician. You the assistant.
You gotta have hair like Murray to be a magician, and obviously you're just a little jealous of that.
you love that post-credit ending, if you like. He's standing up over there, Casper Lever. He lives in Milton under Witchwood, just down the road. He's been one of the main cameramen, actually the main cameraman, on the farming show I do. But more importantly, he was on the very first special, and he was on the very last. Well, thanks, Casper. Alice is here as well, but he did fuck all. Right, now, does anyone have any questions about anything? Because I know we're all freezing to death and desperate for a piss. If you've got anything you want to ask, do fire away, because we're here for a little while, so let's go. Go on then, what is it? Yeah, that's not a question.
Okay, I even got a microphone.
Yeah, no, that's still not a question. That's not a question.
Right, okay, here we go.
That's not a question.
So over the last few decades, I've worshipped you, and I thought you, as I said to you earlier on.
Are we getting to a question?
Yes, we are.
Here it comes.
This is like, just imagine it's like
That's fucking hell.
Sunday.
It's like listening to Keir fucking Starbucks. Come on.
What are we supposed to do now for motoring?
For motoring on television. Well, as I said to them the other day at Amazon, here's what I think. They keep talking about famous people that they want to, oh, well, they like cars. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. They've got to find young kids who really know their cars and then get them to host the show. And I'm hoping Amazon will. I do think they'll carry on with the Grand Tour with young kids. Not famous, I won't name names of what I've heard, but come on. No, just find some people who know their cars. I guess there's a few in the room now. Apply. That's James Richard and I, we weren't well known when we started. Now look at us. Still not very well known. Well, we didn't win an NTA, did we, the other day? Caleb. Right, has anyone else got a question? Yeah, you got one. What will I miss most about Hammond and May? Honestly, I mean, I could make some facetious remark about how we don't like each other. The truth of the matter is we do. Hammond has got one of the sharpest wits of anyone you'd ever meet. He's unbelievably funny guy, he really is. And James, he knows how steam engines work. No, he does, but James is a remarkable character because he sort of never really got what the Grand Tour or Top Gear was about, and yet he fitted in incredibly well. And I know he'd watch that and go, what bloody hell was all that about? Nonsense. What modern music? What was the matter with harpsichord? But he was a great person to work with. And God, we've had some laughs. I mean, proper laughs. Mainly at Hammond's expense, but also with Hammond. He's properly funny guy, that guy. Really is. Anyone else got a question? Thank you very much. No, we are trying our best. Yeah, I should point out, we are going to make a few quid out of this. And it'll all go to charity, to a mental health charity that my business partner in the pub enterprises sister runs. So hopefully we can help a few farmers doing that. So yeah, thank you for paying, thank you for coming, and thank you for helping farmers for that. How many units of alcohol? Did you notice that? How many units of alcohol did we drink per episode? I'll let you into a little secret on that one. We had a big cargo plane, huge Antonov thing, to move all of the kit that we needed out to film a show like that. We got a crew of 70, Casper? Got to be 70 people on the crew. A bit more. We had a lot of people. And we got to get the cars out there, you got to get the spare parts out there, you got to get all the camera equipment out there, the sound equipment, the mini cams, the drones. It's a hell of a lot. And we didn't fill the plane. So there was a third of it left. And we thought, well, what should we put on that? Beer was the answer. And so we had a third of an Antonov full of beer to get through on that one. But we do drink a lot. We are mostly smashed. Really, I mean, hopefully nobody will notice that at the end of that lake crossing, all of that drink had gone.
No, we did notice.
We did notice. Did you then notice we set off driving the next day? Well, I'm duty bound to tell you that there was a 3-day gap between arriving and setting off, but there wasn't. They're actually having a screening of this at the Capitol at the President's house in Zimbabwe tonight, so I'm hoping it went down well because, yes, you sir. I can't hear that. What? The car show or the farm show, which do I prefer? It's got to be, no, it's not that's not a difficult one. You know, for the last, 25 years, I've really enjoyed doing the car show. It's been great. But I've been everywhere, done everything, driven cars higher than anyone else, further north than anyone else. Now I've driven one with train wheels on it over the Vic Falls Bridge. We've done everything, and it's really rather refreshing now to get a call time of 9 AM and have to get up at 5 to 9 and I'm still not late. And let's be honest, Caleb's good fun to work with as well, so and he's here as well. So, no, we're having a good laugh making the farm show. They're good fun. I've got to tell you, do you know what makes it fun? And I guess we can all say this, it's the people you work with. It's the people you work with and the people who make it fun. And the truth of the matter is, exactly the same film crews that were on that you saw at the end then, are on the farm show. You know, Casper and all the others. So, you know, it's the same guys. We have a good laugh. Yeah. You what? Okay, I know you've nearly got the... Was I more frightened in Argentina? And you said South Carolina, but you mean Alabama. Very different places, but which is more frightening? Well, I've got to be honest, I was more frightened in Alabama because I was actually there. In Argentina, James Richard and I bravely flew away before the trouble started. So we weren't, the crews were there, and they had a really tottering time. Whatever you saw on television, it was bad. It was really bad. Alabama was also bad. There was a good moment, I can let you into a little secret on that one. Everybody ran there, frightened for our lives, that we were going to be killed. And I found myself at one point behind James May's Cadillac. And behind me, I was in a Camaro, if you remember. Behind me was a pickup truck full of, well, we've got some Americans with us tonight, but they're from California, so they won't mind if I say good old boys, in vests with dogs and guns. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and you know there's that playground sense that boys have, where you look after your mates. You know what I mean? Fuck that. I determined that my Camaro was a lot faster than James's Cadillac, and overtook him and left him to it. Again, so I bravely ran away, but that was pretty scary, Alabama. It was. Because I was told by some people I'd been with in San Francisco the week before, oh, you write these slogans on your car, it'll be funny, they won't mind. They did. They really did. Favourite modification I made to James or Richard's car, I'm going to say in India when we wired his brake pedal up to his horn. That's a very good, if you're bored one day at work, do that to your mates. It's hilariously good fun. So,
I just had to say this Hawkston vodka is very strong. But I've got some questions.
Some questions would be good.
So the first question is, what's your most proud moment?
Brake pedal up to his horn. That's a very good, if you're bored one day at work, do that to your mates. It's hilariously good fun. Sir?
I had to say this Hawkston vodka is very strong. But I've got some questions.
Some questions would be good.
So the first question is, what's your most proud moment from the Grand Tour and Top Gear?
That one. Honestly, that one, because everybody assumed that, I was going to say we, that I would crash that program into a hillside in a ball of flames with tabloid headlines and some terrible misdemeanor I'd done. And to actually end it nicely like that, and everyone goes, yeah, that was a good show for 25 years. That's the proudest thing I've ever done.
And the second question is, since you left Top Gear, have you been for a lap round Dunsfold? Or would you like to?
I have been for a lap round Dunsfold, actually. The old Top Gear test track. We snuck back in once, and I did one lap in Nick Mason's Ferrari. I can't remember what the bloody hell I was doing there, but I did. Which Ferrari? Can't remember. There probably was the Enzo, actually. Was the Enzo. Yeah, it was the Enzo. Yeah, go on. You what, sorry? Did we bring the Mercedes and the Lancia home? No, they weren't ours. That would have been called theft. So we've left them there, and I'm not sure that they're roadworthy. I brought that Lancia back, which is quite extraordinary, and it nearly worked. Yeah, so I drove it over here tonight, actually. It's fantastic to have it back. Yeah, no, it's good to have it back, I must say. Anyone else? Yeah, sir. Do I regret anything? Yes. Oh, yes. Right, anybody else? After 35 years, do I still have the same love for cars? No. Honestly, no. They're all shit now. Now, genuinely, I look at, well, not all, but what am I going to say? I guess we're all in the same boat on this. 80% of them now, 90%, I couldn't even identify them. I don't know what they are, I don't care. And they go, we've got a new hybrid drive system. I just couldn't give a shit. But the old stuff, you know, driving here in that tonight, there's a fantastic road. Anyone here know who I mean by Harry Metcalf? Okay, so Harry uses this road very close to here for all of his tests. And it's my route from home to here. And I was driving that, and it's amazing when you drive an old car like that, how much better they are than modern cars, because they're so light. It's just, it looks like driving a ballet dancer. I don't mean that, but you know what I mean? It's a really, really epic thing to drive. Yeah. From my favourite car is a Lexus LFA. It's a weird thing to choose. Most people go, what? But it was an amazing car. Why? Do you ever hear one? Sound like a wounded werewolf. It's a brilliant thing. Yeah. What? What car should you drive? No, I think I can't even see you. Polestar, I don't know. Literally don't know. What's the answer? What? Oh, you've got the same Range Rover as me. There you go. Good. Good, very good car, that Range Rover. Yeah, that particular one, it thinks it's a transit van. Yeah.
Was there a singular point over the past 22 years when you thought you would be so influential? What you were doing?
No, we were never influential. You were asking, was there a point when we ever thought we were influential? No. I'll give you some stats to back that up, if you like. I can remember once, it was the Ford Orion. I gave it a really hard time. Okay, and he went on to be Britain's best-selling car. And then there was the Renault A610, if anyone can remember that. And I said it was brilliant, loved it. They sold 6. So we were never influential, I don't think. We might have been among petrol heads, but not really among the greater public. Which special would I relive? Now that's a good question because it's 2 parts. Which did I enjoy making most of all? Botswana. And if you ask Richard and James, they would tell you the same thing. Because it was the first one and we're like, what the bloody hell are we doing here? This is amazing. And there was that guy with a 4-way comb over. And we've never forgotten him. And it was the most brilliant program to be on. Casper was on, he'll tell you. It was incredible. It was, because we didn't know, it was all new to us. Which do I think was the best special? of them all. But for me, it's a toss-up. But I really like that one. I'm bound to say I do like that one. But not counting that one, see what you think. Mongolia and the Middle East. Africa's really popular. You mean the one with the BMW, the Volvo, and the Subaru? I know that's popular, but with my television hat on, Mongolia was bloody good. No, not Vietnam. I hate fucking motorcycles. It was alright in the boats, but I mean, I know a lot of people like that. Which is the main? Let's have a show of hands. Who thinks Africa was the best special? Yeah, a lot do. Who thinks it was Vietnam? Not so many yet, but for me, I'd say Mongolia or whatever the other one I just said was. Bolivia. Bolivia was, I mean, it was good, but God, it was uncomfortable to make. It was uncomfortable to make. Has anyone been to La Paz? You've been to La Paz? You have? What a shithole. What an unbelievable... There isn't enough air in it. You would agree it's the worst capital city in the world. It's never ever go there. And their national costume doesn't fit. Honestly, but I would say that La Paz is the worst place. Well, La Coruña in northern Spain, or Coruña in northern Sweden, and La Paz are the three worst places I've ever been to. Who's the fastest driver out of Hammond, May and me? Really? I mean, Richard has driven fast twice, had his trousers cut off twice, gone in an air ambulance twice. May's once went at 45 and nearly killed him. Yes, sir. How's my harvest gone? I don't know yet. We haven't finished it. Thanks to global warming in the community. Did I what? Did I enjoy when James crashed? You Italian? No. I was just standing 10. I genuinely thought he was dead. I honestly thought, no, I didn't enjoy it. No, my favourite question about that was that scripted? Right, so I sit down and I go, James, can you drive at 70 miles an hour into a cliff face? Oh yes, I'll do that. Yeah, so no, it wasn't scripted, and no, I didn't enjoy it. Adam. How much was I involved in the planning of the shows? It was me. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I did the recce for that one. Yes, yeah. Because I suddenly worked out after 25 years, the producers that go on the recce's, you just think that's a holiday. You just go to Zimbabwe and drive around trying to find interesting things to film. I thought, why don't I do that? It's not difficult. So yeah, that one was mine, even though they ignored me. Well, no, I've got to stop. But yeah, I was pretty heavily involved. What? No, this is not Stag, you mean? This Hawkston's better than I thought. The original state was Perry McCarthy, followed by Ben Collins, followed by Phil Keane. Well, there isn't a current Top Gear, so there isn't a current state. But the last one was Phil Keane. What sex am I? Labour Party's here. You're about, is this another Range Rover question? Didn't get that. Sorry. Well, something about the NFU not paying out, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll stick to cars tonight. Yeah. Favourite talk show? I hate them all, really, but... Well, I mean, they've done Jonathan Ross and Graham Norton, I think. Well, I've done another one. Oh no, I used to host one. You like that either? Lots of fun. What? No, it's a good question. Norris or Verstappen? It's kind of tricky, isn't it? I mean, it's got to be I'm just saying, mathematically, it has to be max. Unless there's a miracle, but we'll see. Who knows? You, sir. With the bureaucrats banning petrol and diesel cars, what's the future for petrol heads? Well, hydrogen wouldn't be a petrol head's choice, on account of it being hydrogen. But I don't think there's... But then the way I look at it is this, is when the internal combustion came along, the horse got booted into touch. But it doesn't mean that people, you know, all horses were eaten. There are some people who still ride around on them, you know, and they have fun. And I think, you know, keep a car like that, there'll always be petrol to buy, you'll always be able to enjoy it. And just because everybody else is driving around in a microwave oven or a chest freezer, doesn't mean you have to, and you can continue to do that, which is what I shall do. That's my view. Yeah, go on. Well, a couple more, and then I'm sure you've all got homes to go to. There's a couple here, guys, who come from California for this. Can you believe it? Let's go. They're actually sitting outside, and it's -30. Who was the one person I wish I interviewed but never got to? Well, now that's interesting, because I came up with this idea of starring a reasonably priced car, and the person I had in my mind was Brian Ferry. Yes, those of you who are a little bit older than 35, let's say, will remember Brian Ferry, and he was the coolest guy, and he always wore a tux, and he was a cool guy. And I love the idea of him in a shit car. And he never did it. And I know Brian, he came to my 50th, and but he never did the show, and I always wanted him to. What? The worst guest? No, I won't go there. I won't do that. Ranulph Fiennes was the best. Sir. Thank you. That's it. I quite like that. We could end it on that, shall we? We've all got homes to go to. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And there won't be another time.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout!
Washiを見くびるでないぞ。
Round 1. Ready, go! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 5. Ready, go! Knockout!
You're no match for me.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go!
Jerry!
Thanks for joining me, Jeremy. We're streaming live on the net.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because Kevin had told me that sheep can jump over walls, I then had to spend another £2,700 on a self-assembly electric fence.
Now what they want me to do is walk round the field with this 3 times. Well, I'm not going to. God, I'm clever. Right, see how let's just work this one. Green, that's the earth. Good. Red, onto the fence. And then these go onto the battery. Here we go! Could be. Oh, good God! Oh! Ah! You bastard!
Because Kevin had told me that sheep can jump over walls,
I then had to spend another £2,700 on a self-assembly electric fence.
Now, what they want me to do is walk round the field with this 3 times. Well, I'm not going to. God, I'm clever. Right. This steel's just so warm and comfortable. I'm 57.
There are some issues associated with environmentalism, and we're seeing one of them right now.
Am I anywhere near the gate?
James attempted to tie his car back together using a ball of string, which went well.
That's gonna confuse him now. Why did they make it in a ball shape? What a stupid idea.
Good. So, starting engine. Engaging drive. Here we go.
There must have been 30 or 40 people in the room when the police arrived.
Clarkson!
Is that a real Jaguar belt? I've got a Jag. How much is this?
$22.
25. And here, because you're a nice chap,
Yeah.
keep it. Thank you. Ah, welcome to the hotel, sir. I could take your coat. Thank you very much. Had a pleasant trip?
Yes. Yes,
Lovely.
thank you.
Your hat?
Thank you.
That's your bag as well, sir. Thank you very much. If you'd like to go and see my colleague on reception, that would be marvellous. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, that's my warm weather gear sorted out.
Going? Well, go on then. Yeah? My trousers have fallen down. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Norris. No, I'm down now. Oh, yes. Have you ever, in your whole life, seen anything?
This is wrong. This is wrong. Did they have some carpet stuck under the throttle? Because the DC-120 is going like a bastard. Goat van, the boat is there. There is Richard Hammond. Is James May here? No, he is not. He is not. Yeah! No May? Degrees and 37 degrees bacterial results of fat.
Juices with more fruits and vitamins to support your immunity than we can fit in a 6-second ad.
Look at you,
the big winner. Not you. No, not you either. You use QuickBooks to send invoices and manage expenses, saving your business up to 8 hours a week, giving you more time to flourish. That's how you business differently. Into it, QuickBooks.
Have you dated other guys that are not Thai?
Not Thai? What do you think of Thai guys?
When Thai guys speak Thai. Made quite a bit of videos with foreigners in Thailand, but today we're gonna be doing like a mini podcast situation with a real Thai girl.
Hello! My name is Tarn. I am 26. And yeah, I'm just from Bangkok, living my best life.
What do you do?
I am a full-time content creator.
Before you worked a corporate job, right?
Yes, I was working corporate since like 2020 up until like 2023. So 3 years in corporate, and it wasn't for me, so.
Can you tell about that job, or what was the working hours like?
It was like a 9 to 5. Like my first job was like a 9 to 5, but my second job, it was like an 8 till like 9, 8 till 10, which wasn't for me. Like the hours were crazy, and I don't know, I just don't want to live that life of like working till midnight or like 10, 11. It's just not for me. So that's why I decided to come out. And yeah, it's so much better now. I have so much autonomy over my time, my life.
How come your English is so good?
My English, I think it's because I went to an international school in Thailand. Yeah, that's why. And I went to college in Canada, so. But my English has gotten so bad, though. And not bad, but worse. I would say worse, because my Thai is so good right now. I've been living in Thailand since 2020. I came back from school, and I've just been using. I've just been using a lot of Thai. So yeah, my Thai is getting so much better. My English is.
When did you transition to being full time?
Last year to December last year is when I quit my job, and everyone was lovely. It was just the job itself that I didn't enjoy, but the people there, they were great. Yeah. So.
I like your energy.
Thank you so much. I mean, we just had like burgers before this, so now I have a lot of energy.
So what do you do on your free time?
Honestly, I have no shame, but I rot. I like rot in bed when I'm free, and it's my rest day. I don't do anything. I wake up, take a shower, and I just rot. And if this was me before 3 years ago, I would feel so guilty that I'm just rotting in bed. But now I'm like, you know what? It's what I want to do. It brings me joy. I'm just cuddling with my dog the whole entire day, and guilt-free as well. So yeah, that's what I do. I just do nothing. I just sleep.
I want to be like that too.
Why do you feel guilty?
I feel guilty when I'm not productive, and I feel like those time I could be making money.
I know, but imagine like you've been productive for like 6 days out of the week, and it's like one day that you're just like, you know what, I'm not gonna do anything today, and that's totally fine.
Before we get deeper into the video, how did we meet?
Well, we follow each other on Instagram.
But I knew your brother before I knew you.
Yeah.
But maybe we won't post your brother here because we gotta keep him private.
I mean, I like saw her interview my brother, and I was like, oh my god, she's like such a good interviewer. And that was actually the first time on TikTok. I think it was on TikTok, because my dad actually sent the video to the family group chat. And I was like, oh, I saw this video or something like that.
What are your favorite places to travel in Thailand?
Honestly, I'm getting bored of Bangkok. I am. So recently I went to this got called Got Yao Noi. There's nothing on the island except for your resort, and it's giving like White Lotus. Have you seen White Lotus? It's giving like White Lotus vibes, but I just love being isolated from the city sometimes, because I've been here for a while and I am slowly getting sick of it, but not in like the worst way. I just need a change, you know? So islands for sure.
Is there like a favorite beach city or island city? Or favorite island?
Honestly, I want to become a got girl. Like, I've been saying this for the longest time, but I haven't been to a lot of islands. I've only been to a couple, like Samui, Phuket. Phuket's not even an island. Got Yao Noi, Got Tao, like, you know, the usual. But that's my goal, like this year and next year though, to go to more islands. I just want to become a got girl, because I've gotten really tanned. Look, my face is paler than my arm.
What do you like to do in Bangkok, even though you're kind of used to it?
What do I like to do?
Your favorite activities as a Khon Thai?
As a Khon Thai, I just like to eat. Is that like too basic? I don't know. I like to eat. So I think Bangkok, we just have the best food, best restaurants, whatever cuisine you can pick. There's always something that's like up there, you know. So definitely eating. usually go with my boyfriend. We're like big foodies.
Now they know you're not single.
I'm not.
Maybe they're interested in you.
Dude, it's so weird because a lot of we're like big foodies.
Now they know you're not single.
I'm not. There's always something that's like up there, you know. So definitely eating. I usually go with my boyfriend. We're like big foodies.
Now they know you're not single.
I'm not.
Maybe they're interested in you.
Dude, it's so weird because a lot of my girlfriends, like Thai friends, like it'd be guys DMing them all the time, like, oh my god, soy ma, whatever, right? For me, it's like no one would ever like. I don't know. It's been a while since someone has like slipped into my DMs. It's been so long, and I always tell my boyfriend this, like, oh yeah, maybeคนจีบเลย and no one's gonnaจีบme.
Maybe because you're open about it in your video.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I feel like I'm also comfortable that way because like some men are just so creepy on social media that I'm just like, yeah, I prefer it this way.
Your boyfriend is Thai, right?
Yes.
Have you dated other guys that are not Thai?
Not Thai? No, actually. I've only dated Thai guys that are not Thai, if that makes sense. Like, they're Thai, but we speak in English. Yeah, but yeah, they're Thai. Do you know what I mean? Like Thai-American vibes, but not really, because they didn't live there.
They went to international school, or they have Chinese ethnicity.
Yeah. I've never really dated any other nationalities, only Thai. I don't know if I have a type, but I think it's the cultural thing that I'm just like, it's hard for me to explain. I don't really have the time to explain my culture and the like Thai mannerisms. There's like a lot, right? So yeah, it's always just been Thai guys in the past.
It's like ง่ายกว่า
ง่าย I think ว่าคุยกันรู้เรื่องมากกว่า What do you think of Thai guys?
I have a story I can share. So the first month that I came to Bangkok, I went on 2 or 3 dates, right? But one of those dates, the guy was smiling a lot, and then I asked him, "Are you actually happy?"
Oh my god, you asked him on the date? Like,
because I didn't know if it was like a Thai thing, like the smile where Thais keep smiling, or if it's because he's happy to be on the date. So I was like, "Are you actually happy?"
So what did he say?
I don't remember.
What the heck? Dude, I'd be like, yes, I smile a lot.
Actually, he was laughing at my question. Is there anything that you want people to know more about you? Because maybe some people follow you on TikTok, but they only see a really short 1 minute of you.
Oh, what a good question. One thing that I want people to know more about me
outside of your videos.
That's a really hard question because I would think that me and my videos is very, very, I'm very transparent, and I feel like I'm that person in the videos. I think a lot of people would ask me like if you have the same energy in person compared to your videos, and I'm like, yes, if you're really my friend, then you would know that I'm like that girl. So I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't think there's anything because I'm very transparent. I'm like an open book. I think my viewers, they know me for me, definitely. Yeah.
I can confirm that you sound like you do in your videos.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. A lot of my friends would say that as well. They're like, oh damn, you sound the same. And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm trying to do.
You sound different when you speak Thai. And you know, like when Thai speak, they're more polite.
I think I'm softer when I speak Thai. If I'm not swearing, I'm just speaking normal. I speak slower, and the tone is definitely softer. I use kind a lot, like very friendly vibes.
That's actually something you have to get used to as someone trying to learn Thai, because when I speak English, I'm confident, but when I speak Thai, I lower my voice and I try to sound cuter.
I think it comes to the language, like sounding cuter. Because when in English we both sound very confident, and I feel like we're both very articulate. Like we talk a lot and we know exactly what to say and how to say it. But in Thai sometimes you can't help but sound cute because it's just a very soft language.
I actually like when Thai guys speak Thai. Because you know how normally guys are seen as masculine, but when Thai guys speak Thai, it's extra polite and soft. So that is a plus.
Yeah. That's interesting. I've never really thought of it that way. Maybe because I've grown up with like, this is where I grew up, but sound cute. Because it's just a very softer. I think it comes to the language, like sounding cuter. Because when in English we both sound very confident, and I feel like we're both very articulate. Like we talk a lot, and we know exactly what to say and how to say it, but in Thai sometimes you can't help but sound cute because it's just a very soft language.
I actually like when Thai guys speak Thai. Because you know how normally guys are seen as masculine, but when Thai guys speak Thai, it's extra polite and soft. So that is a plus.
That's interesting. Never really thought of it that way. Maybe because I've grown up with like, this is where I grew up. But
so it's normal to you.
Yeah, but I can see what you mean. Like they just sound softer.
Do you listen to Thai songs?
I don't. I don't. Do you?
I do.
Oh, shit.
Only Thai and Chinese.
Oh wait, actually, I only know the Sky Jeff. Yeah, there's this one song, Ghost. I really like that song because it went viral on TikTok. So I listened to that one song in Thai, and the rest are just like very old Thai songs, like from 10, 20 years ago. Like
Zadam, 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 zadam.
wait, that's so crazy. Because I was gonna say Bami, right?
I don't know.
But that's so crazy song. Yeah.
I know the song because there was a BL series that did a cover on the song. BL is Boys Love. Sally Y.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Siri. Like I've only heard of it.
Because a lot of girls come to Thailand because of BL series.
Really? To do what? Like to
just to go to events or see the actors or go to filming locations.
Okay, because I heard that they're very huge. Like whoever's like in these CDY, they would get so famous just all over Asia, right?
So now we know Thais don't really watch BL in general. Nowadays it's more cringe because the production company try to milk it.
Yeah, cringy shows. I love them. I hate but love them at the same time. Like I love watching cringy reality TV shows when I'm rotting in bed. But you can send me the cringy ones as well. I'll watch them in bed rotting.
Because I don't really watch anymore. So I'll send you the ones that I've seen that I think are not cringe.
Okay, yeah.
Let's end the video because I think it's long enough to post.
17 minutes. I feel like it's just like we're just talking, right? Yeah, but with a mic. But it feels like we're just talking with a view. I wish you guys could see the view.
You don't have anything else you want people to know about you?
Oh. No.
Or maybe like a plug, a self plug.
Wait, what's that?
Like you shout out your social medias.
Oh yes. So my TikTok's called Obnoxious Pudding, but you can search Tarn Lim in the search. My Instagram's the same, Tarn Lim. But it's up to you. You don't have to follow me. But if you want to follow me, you can. But you don't have to. But it's up to you. เจอกันใหม่คลิปหน้านะคะ
Right now with O2, get the latest AI power.
Pixel 9 and Google Pixel 9 Pro with Gemini at Curry.
When the Sega Saturn launched in Japan, I was just turning 19 years old. I was out of school, I was working full-time, and I had some money to spend. I had already become familiar with importing games from Japan at this point. And now that the Saturn was out, I was dipping my toes into that market more than ever. Had some money to spend. I had already become familiar with importing games from Japan at this point, and now that the Saturn was out, I was dipping my toes into that market more than ever. It was one hell of an exciting time, and I have many, many fond memories of it. However, like most things in life, there were moments of genuine regret while importing for the Saturn. Times where I made bad choices, overpaid, or just ended up with a game that failed to meet my expectations. That's where this video comes in. I have selected a number of Sega Saturn games from Japan that I really wish I hadn't gone after. It's important to note that not all these games are bad games in the strictest of terms. They just happen to have a story behind them, very specific to me as the buyer. I've got 14 of them, so let's get started. First on our list is Daedalus, the robotic first-person shooter that was developed by Micronet and Genki. In the early days of my Saturn ownership, I had played Virtua Fighter to death, and I was looking desperately for something new to play. In March of 1995, Daedalus launched in Japan, and I was enamored with the pictures in the gaming magazines. Doom with robots is fully what I was expecting, yet this slow, plodding, poor-performing game was nothing of the kind. Essentially, you are a rebel agent trying to bring down a massive space station that rules the Earth with an iron fist. You walk around nondescript halls and rooms blasting away at ho-hum enemies that offer little in the way of excitement or challenge. Your weapons mostly suck, the objectives lack any real tension, and you're likely to be bored to death by the second or third stage. To make matters worse, I paid well over $100 for this at its release. I was so excited for a new Saturn game, I had it shipped next day air as soon as my favorite import company got it in. It was an immediate regret that I couldn't return or sell to recoup my funds. Sega published this Japanese version, but opted out of the US edition, leaving that one to be handled by Acclaim. If that doesn't say everything, I don't know what else does. Super Adventure Rockman was a mid-1998 release that I wouldn't get until sometime later, but it was a bad pickup either way. This is the full-motion video equivalent to a Mega Man game. Dr. Wily discovers some ancient technology in the Amazon that allows him to bring back his previous creations, on top of some other terrible things like corrupting modern technology. Of course, the Blue Bomber and pals are the only ones that can stop this. It's set up as an adventure game where you can choose different options to progress the story. Cinematics play out, which then lead into QuickTime events and shooting segments, which you must then survive to keep the action going. It was an odd choice for Capcom to pursue this in 1998. I could have seen them trying it when full motion video was being heavily pushed on something like the Sega CD, and the technology was relatively new to console gamers, but by 1998 nobody cared. That may be why they only published it in Japan, which of course meant that someone like me couldn't understand the voice work. Not really sure. I am a big fan of fighting games. Good fighting games, that is. In June of 1995, I was victim of the unfortunate release of Battle Monsters. This was developed by Scarab and published by Naxxinix. The crazy camera zooming constantly, the terrible models, the overly busy backdrops, and the garbage flow of the gameplay in general are instant killers of any fun. This is another one that Acclaim swooped in and grabbed up the license to release in the West. Where Acclaim saw value, it typically meant pain and suffering for its customers. Battle Monsters was soon lost in a sea of much better fighting games. A complete disaster, no matter which region you owned. With games like Afterburner 2 and Outrun turning out so well on the Saturn, 1998's Galaxy Force 2 was a surefire winner, right? Not so fast, my Sega-loving friends. This was part of the Sega Ages line for the Saturn, but unfortunately was handled by different developers than the other Superscaler ports. This was done by Appaloosa Interactive, and their work is not something I was happy with. The performance is not arcade smooth. In fact, it's not even consistent. By this point, bringing this home anything less than perfect was utterly pointless. It isn't that it's unplayable or anything, it was just that when you had a console with the sprite capabilities of the Saturn, it should have been special. Better than the arcade even. Instead, we are left with a forgettable port that only really gives you a taste of the powerful arcade original. It blows the Mega Drive attempt out of the water, but this was still a big letdown, and it's idle in my Saturn collection. Golden Axe the Duel makes the list because of my own insurmountable expectations. This was developed internally by Sega and released on the Saturn in September of 1995. This had the license, it had the development talent, and it had the two-dimensional power to make it something special. I went in expecting Sega to have hit a home run here, of unforgettable quality. Instead, I was met with nothing more than an average fighter with a pretty face. The Neo Geo level visuals are not hard on the eye, but they also don't scream something to push the Saturn very hard. The Street Fighter inspired gameplay is similar in that regard. It uses the familiar motions you know and love from Capcom's classics, but doesn't really do anything beyond that to define or warrant its existence. That left me wanting it to be more than it was, especially for the import premium I paid for it. This was another one that landed around the $100 mark, which adjusted for inflation would be like paying over $200 for a game today. It was far from the worst fighter on the Saturn, but it certainly wasn't worth that kind of price. Nearly 4 years into the run of the Saturn, it was clear Sega was pushing a replacement, and its days were numbered. Importing had become pretty hit and miss at that time, with even Model 2 ports having quality, it wasn't always a surefire hit. 1998's GT24 by Jellico was one such game. It's based on the Model 2 Super GT 24 Hours, an arcade racer based on endurance racing that can take place across day and night. You'll need a decent pit crew to work your car, keeping it running and keep you competitive. Unfortunately, this is pared down from the arcade release heavily. The polygon draw distance is closer, the textures are far worse, the performance is halved, and overall track detail is cut back heavily. Importing this one left me in a rather bewildered state. The Saturn had been churning out incredible Model 2 ports there for a few years thanks to the likes of Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Cop, and a number of others. But as 1997 and 1998 came into focus, Model 2 ports seemed to be nowhere near as well done as before. GT24 was similar to releases like Sky Target, House of the Dead, and Sega Touring Car, games that failed to look, run, or play as well as you'd expect. GT24 was yet another disappointment as the Saturn slowly faded from the retail market. Mega Man X3 was another game I wanted so badly to like, but just felt burned by the experience. Before I begin, I want to be very clear here that I'm not attacking this game for its quality, but rather its conversion over to the Saturn. If you enjoy the Mega Man X series, this was more of what you loved about it. Unfortunately, the Saturn port is nothing special over the 16-bit Super Nintendo original. There is an added arranged soundtrack and new cinematics, but nothing has been upgraded beyond that. Since the Saturn doesn't support the original Super Nintendo resolution, it runs with vertical borders and what appears to be squashed sprites. I found this incredibly off-putting for a supposed 32-bit release. Instead of more colors, more detailed sprites, better backgrounds, or some new special effects, we are running around in a smaller screen with characters that look wrong. I had jumped the gun without knowing what I was getting, and paid another premium for a game I instantly regretted. It never came to the US, but did see a release in a number of PAL territories. If you want to play it, do it on the Super Nintendo. Mega Man X4 was far more impressive for a 32-bit release. A number of my friends were importing games around this time, and one of them picked up Shin Shinobi-den as soon as it was released. That was in June of 1995, and it was developed by Sega. Though it contains the Shinobi name and is part of that series, it is not a sequel or related to the previous games in any way. It follows the story of two brothers, one good and one only concerned with power. As you can imagine, the latter starts trouble, a girl is involved, and you'll need to whoop ass to stop him. My experience with this one started out decent enough. After my buddy beat it a few times, he sold it to me. I didn't think much of the digitized visuals, and I thought the soundtrack was just okay compared to past Shinobi titles, but the gameplay was very similar to Shinobi 3, and that was a very good thing. The main hero could run, block, and double jump, with the use of both his sword and throwing knives as options to defeat enemies. Ninja magic makes a return as well. Where things go wrong with this import for me is when I learned of the PAL release later that year. That region recorded a completely different soundtrack for the game, and was a bit more faithful to the spirit of the Genesis releases. It was known as Shinobi X, and it's the version I wish I had gotten. I'll leave you with an example of the changes so you can hear them for yourself. Figure that got his very own game in late 1998 called Shinken Yugi. No doubt the character deserves some love, and it's a shame that this is the best Sega could do. But what do you expect when you allow the developer responsible for the reprehensible Death Crimson to make it? Yep, the folks at Eccles strike again with this turd, a collection of minigames that give way to videos of our heroes' exploits. The minigames are, in a word, awful, with even the more tolerant ones being little more than barely playable curiosities that you hope give way to some of the trademark humor. It doesn't, and what you are left with here is a game in its simplest form. You do control some of the on-screen action, but there's nothing really to learn. It's mostly just memory and matching crap. Nothing really brings you back for more, and more importantly, there's nothing beyond the fleeting joy of seeing the Sega hero on the screen every so often. Sega charged damn near full price for this mess, and it still sits in my collection as a testament to my past addictions. Remember when I said it seemed like Model 2 arcade ports to the Saturn seemed to get worse as the machine aged? That was certainly the case with 1997 Sky Target. This was developed by Appaloosa Interactive for Sega, a port of the AM1 arcade original. It's basically the first Polygon addition to the Afterburner series of games. As cool as that sounds, it really did not translate over well. It's slower and just doesn't have the same intensity. It was that intensity that was 90% of the Afterburner experience. The Saturn port of this added further issues with poor polygon models, crappy looking environments, and some truly awful textures. I imported this at its release for full price. It was damn near $100 once you included shipping. I grew tired of this fast and was another one I wish I had passed on. When this came out in the US 4 months later, Sega had the audacity to put on the back of the box arcade perfect translation and incredible real-time 3D environments. It was a shameful day to be a Sega fan. Late 1997 gave us the Athena-developed Crows, the battle action on the Sega Saturn. I was so incredibly excited to get this one because I was totally sold on a 2D beat-em-up with 32-bit graphics, animation, and sound. Crows certainly looked the part, those large sprites were excellent, but it just didn't grab me with its gameplay. It's here where the basics fall to pieces. There are no real combos that lead to more powerful moves. Instead, almost everything is a standalone hit, and the best you can get are a few moves that hit more than once so you can knock the enemy down faster. There are also no flashy specials here to keep things interesting. You will go into this with simple moves, kicks, throws, and weapons that do not turn into more satisfying damage. And that's the entire game. It's based on the Japanese comic of the same name, but this meant absolutely nothing because I wasn't familiar with it and the game is all in Japanese. There are a handful of different characters that keeps you coming back. Die-hard fans of the genre will see some enjoyment, but those looking for something in the same mood as Streets of Rage can keep on going. When Showdown real battle in Japan on the Saturn, I decided to play it. I was completely under the impression it was a port of the arcade game Street Fighter movie. Size actors for the movie. To make matters worse, I didn't check the approved US release date. I was paying a premium for the Japanese version, which just happened to be a few weeks later. This was one of those moments where you just had to hang your head low and admit you had been a dumbass. A quick question to any bad and I would have known what to do. least, they should have been a winner. It dropped in late 1995 and included 2 of the Data East developed arcade classic Laserdisc titles. First up was Thunderstorm, which was also known as Cobra Command, a helicopter game where you must fight your way through a terrorist group as they assault or a turn and you'll flame out and need to pretty good and much closer to the What I wanted the most, however, was Road Blaster, also known as Road Avenger and Road Prosecutor. It was one of the few full motion video games that I would go back to again and again because of the story and music. You are on a mission of revenge against the Road Gang, who had been terrorizing the city and killed your wife. The opening theme was epic and so incredibly memorable. I cut my Sega CD on back then just to let the game run, watching that intro over and over. The Saturn version of the game strips that intro down to some soulless rock music with no lyrics. To make matters worse, it also puts a giant reticle and score on the screen, which really affect the immersion. It just doesn't feel like the same game.